Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, it is week 3 Gambit Gaming versus Giants. And well, it is on your screen the red team of Giants playing from top to bottom. And of course, Gambit down the bottom as the blue team. Everybody starting out even, everybody buying out their first items, and you're seeing an ooh.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at Nazis because he has that 14% life steal from his passive, which I mean it's really a strong factor in the jungle because you can have Morden, on Volibear, he can pretty much tank blue down to his passive being proc to get back to full health almost, and not have to use that smite. But Nazis as well has really great sustain in the jungle on top of the big minions giving you that health and mana back. Just really curious. I'm just really curious to see how well it does because it's one of those champions that you don't see too much play in the jungle. But Diamond's always been known for bringing those champions out.
Well, we see the explosion ward being put out there by Babetta. And as it stands, Edward not quite put his out yet. Did manage to put a ward down in that river. Went very early round. We're seeing a possible late invade here from Giants, and Diamond is there, so they're going to catch it out. Well, Edward just missing over the Piltover. And Diamond, you're not going to be able to take that ward down. Does manage to get one hit on it. But immediately Giants back away, getting that early ward against the Raids. And, well, we've seen many teams discover you have to early ward against Gambit.
Yeah, it's a really big mind game as well because it really forces Diamond to change his jungle path he wants to go, unless they want to put a pink ward down and take it away. But as you see, Edward and them at the bottom, we do see Darren actually going head-to-head against Samix right off the bat. And one thing we should touch on real quick while we have time is Akali's been changed in the patch because you no longer need that attack damage and the AP to get your double passives up. It automatically comes up, so you can rune a little bit differently. I believe it was Kobe talking about that with Voidboy, who was playing Akali. So we're going to see how well that actually has worked out for that champion in general. And well, I just love seeing that Thresh. I don't know, something about it.
It's definitely a new champion here in the LCS. It's interesting to see he does get picked out second game of the day. Edward helping out Diamond Prox in that mid lane. So let's go through the lanes as they are. It's looking like people are going to be fairly standard throughout this game. Are we expecting to see Giants be the more aggressive, though?
Well, they didn't go for any kind of lane switches. They have a car on the top lane who's going to have a tough time against Renekton, who's a pretty strong counter to her. I think it's mostly just going to come down to the bot lane because Thresh, like I was saying before, one of those champions you don't see too often yet. I'm assuming most people don't fully know how well he can be played, so they have to really be cautious about that factor. Top lane not going to be really anything happening until at least level 6. Same with the mid lane where, Exter can kind of roam around the map and help out. But as well, Morden, if he can apply some pressure like we saw Cyanide do last game, can really create opportunities for his team.
Well, I mean, and it's interesting you talk about how, like, teams don't know how well it can be. There's a reason that, obviously, us at Riot Games, we don't pull out, I'm just going to see whether they go for Samux at the top here. We don't let them have these champions so early on. A, we want to make sure there's no bugs involved, and B, it gives the teams plenty of time to work it out. We are seeing a potential. The first blood is down the bottom. That was Edward picking up the kill, but it's Samux with concentrating on this top lane. They're going to come in. He's invisible at the moment, and he will just walk away from that one. Very easily avoided by Samux there. And that bottom lane, well, it was Babetta that went down to Edward.
Yeah, and that just shows, I mean, how strong. Well, that just shows Edward's style. Kill stealing that, or kill securing that away. But I mean, you do use that Knight. They did get that first blood onto Babetta, which it's Sona. You're so squishy. You have Diamond still on the top side trying to go for a gank here, but that stealth is really allowing Samix to, mitigate that entire threat.
Going to take some lane tax instead and get a couple of Q building up there. As it is, he will manage to build that Q. We're going to try and keep our eye on that Q. Obviously, whether he's going to be a little bit different. They're going to keep pressuring this top lane. He's sticking around here for a lot longer.
Yeah, the whole point of that is just to deny as much CS as possible to Samix because you're really threatening him. If he tries to push out, try to get the minions, as you saw him just miss 2 in a row right there. Finally does pick up one right there. But, I mean, you're denying a lot of CS. You're really denying him the opportunity to get caught up. And then also, Renekton can back away, and now you're letting Diamond get this free farm in the top lane to make his Q that much stronger.
And of course the Q, if you're unaware, it does build up, gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on. And that's something we're expecting to see. The Lantern, that's what we may well see a lot of, especially with Arcane Shift as well. We could see some fancy moves coming out from Genja. We'll keep our eye on that one to see whether Thresh does manage to pull out something crazy, especially when it's Edward playing. That's what I'm expecting. I
mean, we saw Crepo, if you guys noticed that on Reddit, doing a 1v2 basically against a Vayne. And I can't remember the other champion. Vayne and a... Come on, dude, you gotta help me out here. Who was it?
I didn't actually see it.
Oh, you didn't actually see it? Okay. Well, he did a 1v2.
I was in the hotel, just said no.
But yeah, he did a 1v2, and he had, actually, I believe it was health runes per level, or just flat health quints to help him get that extra tankiness. And that's kind of what I'm leading to, is if Edward gets a little bit tanky late game, he can put his Lantern behind him, as someone grabs onto it, flash in to give that really strong initiate over to Darian, or even to Diamond, because that's the hard thing about Nasus. If you can be kited, then you're going to have a really hard time doing what you need to be effective in these fights. I
can tell you that he was actually saved by, technically, I don't know if it's a bug, but it's the fact that you eat the biscuit and the potion in the right order. Can you double use it?
I believe it was originally like that, and then it got changed, but then it got re-added back in. I believe so. But we do see Edward getting a nice pull. Actually does commit to it and gets committed.
Diving on towards Jim Bones there, and here comes Diamond out of the jungle. He has managed to get the hit. Pabetta's going to take a lot of damage here. Just one more hit should do it. It's Genja that picks it up. Will Jim Bones be able to turn it around? No, he will not. He managed to lay a lot of damage down, but it was split. It wasn't focused. It was on Edward and Genja split across.
That was, I mean, that's the power of Nasus. They knew Babetta had no flash to get away. With that weather, you're not going to escape at all. And looking at the mid lane, being pretty much passive so far. No one's really gotten any action done. They're all setting up relatively good health. You have Alex trying to bait them in here. Actually starts the other way around.
He does bait them in. There's going to be an intervention. He manages to flip him out. Of course, he's got to flash away. Is it going to be enough? Didn't you have the stun cut? Oh, the damage turns back around. Extermin goes down, but Morden does manage to get the kill on towards Alex H.
Even though Giants came out ahead in that entire fight, they got the assist. They're going to get a lot of CS denied over to Alex, but still great play by him to at least get something out of nothing right there. And still Diamond, I mean, he's sitting at 25 CS right now. He's been farming up a little bit. Taking a look at his QE here. He has plus 57 on it. 6.5 minutes into the game. That's just devastating.
That is going to be hurting later on. And of course, pair that with Renekton. It's going to be a heck of a lot of damage. And see Diamond clearing out the farm in there. Edward keeping the bottom lane away on your screens. Let's have a look across the CS. You can see it's fairly even across the board at the moment. Just 5 CFs splitting most of the lanes. Of course, we have seen the more aggressive currently being Diamond Prox, but Morden is in the position jungle, and he's been there quite a few times, because every time Diamond Prox shows himself around the map, Morden is there, ready and waiting to farm out the Wraiths, the red buff. I think he went for the golems.
Yeah, and the thing is, as long as we don't see any buffs taken away from Gambit's side, it's not going to matter too much, because he visits a lane, he pushes the lane up, he allows his lane partner to back out, and then he takes some farm from that. So he keeps stacking that Q, keeps getting the items, the gold he needs. As you see him taking his red right now. And one thing we should probably touch on a little bit about Thresh, since actually in the meantime we just see the gank on the mid lane on Alex again. He has no flash to get away this time.
He's going to get in there, he's going to be stunned, going to get the flip. Is it going to be enough? He's going to take one tower hit. You can see immediately the damage being reversed there. Extermin pulls out the stun card, should get enough. Yes, it will. Extermin takes down Alex H. Here comes Diamond Prox. They're going to try and turn it back around. They're both stood on top of a ward, and Diamond Prox is not going to chase.
And that Twisted Fate pick working out so well so far with that that Volibear combo. They're just shutting down Alex pretty well. Even though he's ahead in CS, they had those 2 kills onto him, and both of them over to Exter. But real quick, back on a Thresh, just since if you guys haven't played him or haven't seen him play too much, his passive is what he's all about, because he doesn't gain armor, magic, or resist per level. He gains he gains armor and AP through these souls you'll see drop on the ground. There's a guaranteed one off of every big minion or every champion, and there's a chance off every small one. So that's how he kind of, as you see right there, you can throw the lantern to pick him up as well. And that's how he keeps getting stronger throughout the game. You don't need items for AP. You don't need items for armor too much, as you're already sitting at 68 flat and 26 AP. I mean, that's just what's so strong about Thresh. You don't really need the items to get the tankiness and the damage you need, so you can afford to put them in other places.
So we'll see and keep our eye on that, how that gains up there. Blue buff being given across to Extermin. We see the blue buff also being picked up for Gambit as well. So
I think he's an
equal farming. I think he may take it himself here, Diamond. Is he going to give it across to Alex? No, here comes Alex. He's going to definitely have that one away. How are the top lanes looking? 53 CS to 48. And we do see Akali of Samux slowly building up. And as it stands, is he going? What is he going for? He's not going for Zhonya's. Yeah. He is going for Zhonya's straight away.
No, I don't think it's his first item. It's just the Seeker's Arm Guard just to survive the laning phase, because it gives you a lot of good benefits. The armor gives you is really nice to go against that Renekton. But he's going to keep it at that throughout the early game, then maybe build it into that Gunblade, which is a really core item we've seen a lot of callers doing. And then even Aurelia's on top of that, because you're going to need that health on Samix. If you get caught, we do see Engage actually daring going head-to-head against him. He doesn't have a pink ward to spot Samix.
Well, immediately, he just, doesn't have a pink ward. He's just going to throw that circle down. I can never remember the name. Quick shot certainly pull that name out just like that. Just let the block and flick. And well, it is the Twilight Shroud, of course. Thank you very much. And they are going to dive on towards Darien. Remember, he's already used his ultimate to get the second dash. Will he manage to get the flip? He's got the Ignite running down. Should be able to get another dash. Yes, he will do the flip. No, not quite enough. They're going to follow it through. And it's going to be the ultimate. Samux will pick that up. Meanwhile, where is Twisted Fate going?
Nowhere.
He didn't go anywhere. Just purely used it for the vision.
Yeah, I was just helping out, giving that sight, but that double flash maybe seemed a little bit unnecessary, but still, in the end, if you're going to get a kill, it's not going to matter in the end. You're going to be like, oh, I wasted a flash, don't really care. But Alex getting pressured on the mid lane yet again, but they've been really trying to shut him down, yet he's still ahead in CS at this point. And in terms of overall gold, he's only down about 400.
Well, 10 minutes in, 3 kills apiece, very much even in gold. We do see Gambit, though, trying to start out possibly for the first Dragon of the game. Here comes Thresh, and here comes Genja. They have passed the ward on the route, so they are aware this is happening. They're going to try and throw those wild cards out. Not going to happen, though. And that is the first Dragon of the game going to Gambit.
And just to keep an eye on what Naz is actually leveling up here, as we have 1 point in Siphon Strike, 1 point in Wither, and 4 points in Spirit Fire. So you can clear the camps quicker, get that extra armor pen to his team if they want to go for the damage on the person, go for a kill. But still, his Q, it was at, I believe, 54 earlier as we touched on it, now up to 105. So it is scaling so quickly, and it's only level 1 at this point. So you know how that damage is going to scale, and that kind of shows you how he's going to build. It's going to be basically straight tank, maybe even the Lock of the Iron Star for the extra cooldown reduction. Well,
we'll see whether, bearing in mind there is double AP champions, whether, unlike our American friends, they actually do build the Runic Bulwark that Jat was banging on about, really, is basically saying, why is nobody building this item? I don't understand. They are against double AP, of course, as Akali and Twisted Fate, so we'll see whether that does happen. And currently, this top lane, you know, could it keep snowballing? Will Morden manage to sneak in there? He's going to get spotted. You see Darien. Darien already used his ultimate, didn't manage to sneak in this time.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of snowball, Akali should be losing this lane, but Morden's been at the top and the middle lane pretty much this entire game so far, just trying to keep those lanes ahead. We already have Exter, has the 2 kills, as I was saying before, in the mid lane, going for that Twin Shadows as his first item, and then Samix with that 1 kill in the Seeker's Arm Guard, even going for a Doran Shield just to make sure he does not die in lane, because if that happens, you know, Darren's going to just snowball that and get so far ahead, but playing it very exceptionally well so far. As you see, you know, Darren, he's just backing away. He knows he can't take Samix on anymore, at least not until the ultimate is back up in 80 seconds. And so far, just taking a look at CS, I mean, overall, Gambit is winning at this point.
Well, Giants, of course, are keeping the pressure on, though. Let's see whether Diamond does head back up north. He's going to be passing a ward any moment now, so you can see Samix is going to be as defensive as he can be. But are they at the level where they could dive him here?
Oh,
no.
I think potentially they could if the Twilight Shroud was down for Samix, but he's just giving that vision to Darien, since Morden's been sticking around the top side, as they actually are going head in the top lane, but Darien will back away in the mid lane, though. Outsiege getting caught again, does flash away.
The stun card comes in, the flip comes through, intervention is running. They're going to turn it back on towards Extermin. Extermin ruses out. Jones managed to get the slowdown, and it will be Morden. Picks up the kill on Alexic once again.
That Twin Shadow, so sexy right there, as he knew he was getting slowed by Alex, popped that and was able to run away and allow Morden to pick up that kill. Such a great play, such great itemization out of Exter, and he's really showing his mastery of other AP champions besides Kassadin and Ryze.
Well, he's definitely switching things up here, and Giants showing their hand a little bit differently this time. We were used to seeing them such heavy crowd composition comp, and honestly, actually, they kind of have got CC, but they're just using it in a much different way. And they are working so well as a team. Those ganks are always being coordinated together so far.
And we do have to mention, though, because we've seen this happen time and time again, you can get that early lead, but can Giants hold that lead on? They did against Gambit last time. Can they do it again is the real question that we're going to find out very soon.
Of course, that first tower of the game did go down in the bottom here. That's made the gold even between the teams, but we do see Edward coming in once again. He's going to go towards Jim Bones, but he dodges out of the way of it. Going to keep the pressure on. Here comes Extermin. He's going to come in. Is it going to be Genja or is it going to be Edward? They turn towards. They do get the stun down on towards Genja. Flashes away there and manages to avoid the damage.
A great play by him to come down and really...
Here comes Edward, here comes Diamond, they're turning this around. Edward's going to come back in. He gets the hook on towards Babetta, throws down his ultimate, and that is game over. And Diamond Prox was the one that picked it up.
Such a great play by, oh, they're still going in for
Alex Hitch comes in, the cleanse comes down. He's going to be the stun card on towards Diamond, but the intervention is available. Alex is just going to back away from this one, though, and could turn this one. The Dragon will be up in, I do not know when.
I think relatively soon. They got it about 3-4 minutes ago, so you know, a couple more minutes it'll be back up, but still going to apply a lot of pressure towards this bottom lane. They want to get this turret down since they already lost their own and really get this gold lead in their favor. We do have
the flash from Jim Bones there, and he realized he was in a little bit of trouble. He could have got caught out from Alex Hitch. Instead, they're going to come back there. They have a creep wave, and they should force Gambit away from this turret. They don't want to lose it just yet.
And that's the power of Wither, as you saw right there. The cleanse was used earlier on the slow out of Alex Siege, but he's being forced to flash away, and if he can keep committing those, or sorry, if Diamond can keep committing those summoner spells to be used out of Jim Bones, he's going to be pushed out of the fight completely. It's all up to Samix and Exter to pretty much carry the fight themselves.
And here's Samix against another ulted up Darien there, just keeping out of his way. As soon as that ulti does run out, I expect Samix to go back in for this one. We can see Darien just playing it cautiously in this top lane. Samox may well go aggressive. You can see he's picked up that Hextech revolver. Slowly building up, and there it is. That's what I was expecting, to dive in, puts that Twilight Shroud down once again, dives back on him again, and Darien realizes he can't fight this one now. And
Samox just getting too strong because of those early ganks, that early babysit out of Morden, I'll say, I guess is a bad word to use, but taking a look at items, how they built up so far, we've seen Darien do the kind of standard build. He's going to be going for, I'm assuming Sunfire Cake, because that's what he always likes to build up as his first major item. And we see over on Diamond, looking at the Emblem of Valor done, we're going to see the Aegis coming out fairly shortly for him, and the Spirit Stone done as well, which we talked about last week, how it's really beneficial to pick it up early on and kind of just leave it at that for a while. We see the Bloodthirster done Ezreal, as he already has a longsword as well. And at the other side, the Twin Shouts, which we mentioned earlier, we see Morden going for health again. I mean, going for a Warmog, why not on Volibear, since you get that more damage off that W, off that Frenzy whenever you get that extra health.
So, bot lane for Gambit. They are continuing the farm, and Genja actually still ahead in farm just about at the moment on Ezreal. 1-0-1, of course, as well, so the gold advantage very much in his favor, along with that Dragon they did pick up. The Dragon will be spawning in 4 seconds' time, though, so Giants are starting to gather for this one, as are Gambit. Who really is in the better position right now?
I really have to say both teams have a potential to win this fight. It just kind of comes down to who is better at team fighting in general, which I think I have to give over to Gambit. The Naza slow is going to be really crucial, as Jimbo is going to be completely out of this fight. He doesn't have cleanse, doesn't have that flash to get away. We have a blue buff on Alex. Looking over Extra, he has one as well, but Alex is going to be doing quite a bit of damage.
Well, they are split. They got 4 down the bottom, 1 up the top. Of course, Darien could come in from the top lane, but the pincer move is not always one that works.
Well, we've seen it happen actually for him quite a bit. He does get engaged on the top side.
They're getting Cole onto him. They do manage to flip him across, and Samox tries to come in, but they haven't got enough damage. The intervention comes in just at the right time. This could well get turned very much in towards Giants, and Gambit do manage to bait them in here. Can they catch anyone out? Babetta's taken low. He gets hooked in. Edward manages to throw down his ultimate, but immediately crescendo, but it's going to be Babetta that goes down, and it's Gambit that make first blood.
And Edward, the big playmaker right there. Actually, I don't think the fight is over just yet, as Giants still looking to try to be aggressive here, but they're pretty much just outnumbered. We still have Jimbo's on the side, though, and using that Thresh Lantern to get back over the side, but that was such a great play out of Edward, because he popped his ultimate, which surrounded Babetta, and then he knocked him into it to pretty much guarantee that slow. Great play by him in general. And real quick, we do have to touch on, he has 63 souls, which means he has 53 extra bonus armor and ability power. That is insane to have on a support.
Well, as it stands, nobody went for the Dragon, though, so Dragon's still available. Expect to see Giants returning back here, maybe. Gambit did manage to trade and pick up the kill on that support. Babetta kind of out of position, which left Jim Bones out of position. He did use his ace in the hole, but he'll be back available in a moment. And you can see Diamond again pings from Gambit. They want to re-engage back on the Dragon.
Yeah, with the whole way Gambit kind of is going about these team fights, which we've seen happen with Darien, they pretty much let him be the initiate, let him soak up all the damage. They pop intervention on top of that, and with his ultimate, he can stay alive for a really long time. And then he also can re-initiate if he wants to a little bit later on, which I try to think of the game in specific. I think it was Intel Q Masters Katowice where he did that against Fnatic, but it's such a strong champ because he has a slice and ice, and he really excels at
play at Dragon there. You can see it's actually Jim Bones that went in. He tried to leash out the Dragon. Diamond's like, I don't think so. You're not going to let you get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crucial part now. Gold's so close. We're 18 minutes in. We already had one Dragon going over to Gambit. And whoever can get this one will really get a nice I have to say, comfortable lead because of how much gold we're approaching for each person. We have 1,500 sitting on Genja. We have almost 1,200 on Alex each. On the other side, we have 1,000 on Jim Bones and 1,100 on Morden. But it's going to be started. They are being spotted. In the mid lane, we need Twist Fate going in.
They've gone in towards Genja, and it's trying to catch him out on the tower. They do manage to pick up the kill, but will they trade it? The Dragon hasn't actually been picked up just yet, and Gambit tried to return and respond to this one, but they were without their AD carry. And we see Samox going in. Intervention on Alex 6. Alex has to flip away. Morden's going to get taken down very low. Samox trying to take Alex down off the side of the screen, but Alex has managed to escape, and now Edward and Diamond turn on their attention towards him. The stun card, the slow card comes out. Samox is going to have a burst of damage any second now. We do see them get away. Oh, the hook on Twins Exterminate pulls him into the turret, but it's not going to land. And well, another close exchange. It's a 1-for-1, but this time it's a jungler for AD, and Giants are going to turn and burn, try and pick up the Dragon.
And they should have the damage to do that. They're missing their smite, which is a really key factor, but doesn't matter anyways. Gambit backing away. And Alex, I mean, that really was a great play by him because he noticed that Samox had no more charges left to get to him, and with that, he was able to escape and then Samix had to use that defensively to just kind of run away for his own self. So now we're tied up in Dragons. Giants, they're down only by 500 gold right now and 1 kill, but they do have that turret advantage. And I won't be too surprised to see Gambit start making a play on some turrets because they have the ability to tank the turrets if they need to and also take them down extremely quickly.
Well, we do see, of course, the CS advantage is generally in towards Gambit. The AD carry is the only shining light currently for Giants. He has got just 10 CS advantage. Samux, of course, is going to clear out this top wave and try and close that gap a little bit, but he is 25 CS behind as it stands. Gambit, oh, they've left the middle turret open, and that is just, that's a bad mistake by Giants there, because that turret is such a huge, huge pinnacle. And they just, everybody backed away from that one.
Yeah, great awareness out of Gambit to just pretty much make a play off of the mistake that Giants had. We have, Samix on the top side. He pushed the lane out, but he didn't try to get the turret down since obviously we saw Gambit backing away from the middle lane. But, I mean, Giants, they're starting to let the game slip. They had the advantage early on, even if they weren't necessarily up in gold the entire time. But now they're just starting to seem to fall behind. That Dragon could help catch them back into the game. But with the way Gambit's been playing these team fights, it's just phenomenal how well synchronized Gambit is.
Well, we see the red buff going across towards Genja. Blue buff has just been given across to Alex Hitch, so everybody will be returning to the game. We do see Aegis of the Legion, of course, being picked up by Diamond Prox. No mistakes from Gambit. They're going for that Runic Bulwark.
I heard the Runic Bulwark is good against LVP comps, Demon.
I've heard it's pretty good as well. Maybe some teams could learn from this. Who knows? As it is, 6-5 in kills. An advantage currently with Gambit, but only just. Darien again against Samux, and immediately that Twilight Shroud thrown down as soon as the ultimate comes out from Darien. Has to use the ultimate of his own, though,
Diamond
to
coming
try
in.
and get away, and Diamond Prox is going to come in. Samux has to get back away from this one. He has got the help of Morden coming in. The stun comes down, though. Should be enough. Spirit Fire, the one more Q should be enough, and there is the kill. Morden comes in. It's a little too late. We do see Edward trying to hack on towards Babetta now. Babetta's coming around. Jim Bones in there. Jim Bones might get caught out. Has the net shot away. Wow, the Q coming from Edward. So close.
I think I peed a little bit there. That was so close. And we saw Gambit finally making that play that we were talking about before. We have Extra trying to counter it with that mid lane push. Genja was sitting
He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Extermin, he's going to try and ulti. Oh, he does. He zips away, turns it around, goes towards Edward. Edward puts his ultimate down. The crescendo is perfectly placed there from Babetta, and they do manage to get the kill. Now on towards Diamond. They have enough damage to work him down. The stun card comes out. Diamond Prox is going to get dropped. Yes, he is. He goes down. Now Genja's in trouble. Meanwhile, Gambit are coming around the backside. Can they close him off? Alex Hitch is going to come around. Has not got flash available. He will be up in just a second. Will he be able to close that distance? He's going to turn it towards Morden. Darian's trying to keep Morden busy, but Morden's trying to flip on towards Darien. They come dashing through. Samux is there. The damage is there, but Alex should be able to intervention on towards Darien. Will it be enough? No, because he got stunned down. Now Alex is in trouble. Alex goes down. Beautiful team play from Giants.
And I think that was overall 4 for 0 for Giants, getting the actually not even getting the gold lead, but getting the kill lead off that. So well played by Exter. He was definitely the MVP of that fight. You saw him get caught, but he teleported into the backside of his team, ended up catching Edward with that gold card, took him down, and kept hitting those gold cards one after another to really open up that entire fight. And Giants, they're not giving up without a fight.
Wow, great play from Giants there, turning the game into their advantage. 2-2 in turrets, dead even in gold, 9-7 in kills, and this is on a knife edge once again. 23.5 minutes gone. Who said the LCS was boring? That's the question. Who is setting themselves up? Who has the better items right now?
Well, just look at them overall. We have a lot of tankiness built up for Gambit. We have, Nasus, who is just a tanky beast because of his ultimate. He gets extra health. We have Darien as well with that Warmog's done and the Hex Drinker to get that little bit of extra magic resist. When the Runic Bulwark's done, they're going to be unstoppable. Looking over at Alex, I mean, he has his Nashor's Tooth done. He has a Hunting Guys, even has a Blasty one on top of that. So he does quite a bit of damage, but the intervention, unfortunately, didn't work out too well for him last time. And looking over the other side, we have the Infinity's Edge done for Jim Bones. Oh, we have Twist Fate going down the bot lane.
Going in towards Genja, but he already Arcane shifts away, turns it back around, puts the stun card down on towards Diamond Prox. Remember, he did manage to wither on towards him. True Shot Barrage flashes across, but it didn't catch Extermin first, went through a giant wave of creeps first.
And going back to what you're saying about items, we do have the Hextech Gunblade done for Akali. I think overall the items are fairly similar. It just depends on how each team approaches these team fights, because it's really anyone's game. We have Samix. Oh, he gets caught by Edward.
He gets hooked in there, but I'm not too sure they've got the damage to try and turn this one around. Puts the ping ward down, but Alex was not quite close enough. And well, Edward making the plays, but the rest of his team couldn't respond quick enough.
That was so perfectly well played with him. Fortunately, yeah, you were saying his team wasn't really in a position to make a big play off of that. We still have a lot of turrets available for each team. I mean, we're 25 minutes in and only 4 turrets been taken through this entire game. No tier 2s just yet. But it looks like both teams, they don't really want to commit to these team fights. They still want to pick each other off because they're both not sure who can really win in a head-on-head 5-on-5.
Darien going in towards his top lane, putting pressure on Morden, but Morden is simply a placeholder, and now Samux comes in. There's the flip. Could they dive onto the turret? They see the Hextech Gunblade going straight off there. They're not going to dive, though. He did use it to poke him down.
Yeah, we do have Caitlyn in the bot lane being just very aggressive. He's been down there for so long lately. He has that CS lead finally in his own favor, and he's really trying to keep someone from Gambit down there, not allowing them to go for a 5-man push. And with Extra there waiting on the sidelines, they're maybe even trying to pick up a kill or two as they do back away. The Lich Bane now done for Extra, so he has that extra bit of oomph in his damage. We do have the top lane daring going to back away, so they will give away that turret. And that helps give Giants even more of a gold lead. Samux
trying to dive onto him just before he backed away. That's going to be the turret going down. Dragon just spawning, and look at that. Diamond pouring the Spirit Fire down. You're just a couple of seconds too early there.
Yeah, just a couple of seconds, but still, they're punishing Giants for going for that turret. They're going to even it out here by picking that up, hopefully. I mean, it all depends on if they can kill it quick enough, but Edward, you know, with the souls he's collected so far, sitting at 86, he has a lot of AP built up. He has a lot of armor built up. And we do have a Beta coming in from the side. Just maybe put a ward down, but it'd be a little bit too late. And that is a second. Oh, he lands the hook!
Does manage to land the hook on towards Babetta. The True Shot barrage rattles past, and that's Diamond Prox that picks up the kill. All too easy. Samux, meanwhile, trying to get in there and steal the blue buff, but Darien managed to get it away. Will he manage to land the stun? He's going to continue chasing. He's got Alec Ditch coming up the river as well. Samux in all sorts of trouble now. He's going to get caught out of position. He can't do a great deal against Darien here. The help is coming in the form of Morden. Is it going to be quick enough? The ignite, the flash. Can they continue chasing through? Here comes Morden to save the day. No! Darien catches him just at the right moment. Beautifully done.
And in the meantime, Gambit was making a play on this mid lane turret. We have Twisted Fate pop in. Ultimate might come down. Yeah, he's coming in towards the mid side. They might be able to close in on them here, and it will be a 3-on-3.
He comes around the side. Edward, though, is going to continue chasing. Morden goes in the intervention on towards Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox does manage to get away, but Alex Ditch is in trouble now at the top of the screen. He's going to continue chasing. Edward's going to get taken down very low. Morden should finish him off there. Weiss in the hole coming through. No, gets blocked off nicely, but Darien may pay for it with his life. Gets flipped in there. Alex Ditch back in. Alex has not got intervention. Stun card comes through. Alex is going to go down, and wow, another 1-for-1 trade. This is crazy.
And I really have to say, Giants are starting to throw this game because Genja, has he been in any of these?
He's going to flash. Oh, the stun card on Darien, not enough.
Not enough indeed, but where's Genja been for all these fights? He has not been there to help out, to turn the tides of this game. He's just been farming at that bottom side. He does have that last whisper done, though. So
Baron. They are going Baron. This is a turn and burn run. Ballsy play. Maybe a mistake here from Giants. I don't know, because they are going to get back here in time. True Shot Barrage is back available. They'll surely shoot that off in a moment.
Oh, that Baron going down very quickly. Then they do have words of spot Gambit coming in. They could take this down before it's over.
Well, they're going to come in. True Shot Barrage just come across, helps them out, and this is going to be Giants to pick it up. But, well, they're going to have to pass through that Spirit Fire. Can they escape? No. Babetta will pay for it with his life. The rest of the team should escape this one. But what will Gambit pick up? They're all going to have to back off here. Gambit can surely just pile up the mid.
Yeah, but taking one for the team there, that was honestly a smart play by him to just go down for a team, let the 4 damage dealers escape. And Gambit, they're going to make a play here on this mid turret. It's very low already, down to 1/3 health, and they will be able to secure a little bit of gold off of that, but still, a Baroned up Giants, with already how scary they are, to be really troublesome for them.
It's going to be troublesome. They are going to lose that middle inner turret. That's a 3-for-3 now in the turrets. And again, the gold very much even. 10-10 in kills. 30 minutes approaching for this. And we do see Gambit turning around towards that bottom lane.
Wow,
they should
crits.
pick up the inner turret. But as it is, Giants with a Baron are just surely going to push one of these lanes. Will they pile down mid? Will Gambit respond to this one? They're going to get that inner turret. Can they continue through? I don't think they're going to have to back out.
No, still smart play in the end by Gambit. They ended up taking the gold lead back in their favor by picking up those 2 turrets, and they made something out of nothing right there with that kill with those 2, well, like I said, turrets, but still, it all comes down to who has the stronger...
Samux might get caught out here. Gambit are starting to come around. They're routing towards the backside. They're on the blue buff, actually, but Samux is going to get caught out. Dutch managed to throw down. And whoa, he's going to get taken so low. Immediately gets spotted out because he couldn't escape. They do manage to catch full vision of him. I didn't see the pink ward go down, but it must have been. It's the Oracle on Diamond.
Yeah, and that's what they needed, because if they can pick Samux off, they're pretty much shutting down, I have to say, 60% of their damage because he does so much with the items he's currently sitting on right now. He's going for that Raw Crystal Scepter. And Gambit, even though they're going against a Baroned up Giant, is going to be taking yet another turret and keeping this aggression pushed up against them.
They're keeping on here, just coming into the 30-minute mark. The Spirit Fire just keeping them at bay. The hook on towards Morden there, yanking him in towards the
wall.
Catching
a fish.
Just hooking it straight in there. And Gambit so aggressive now. They pulled on as a 5-man team. And Giants just keep getting caught out around the map. That's something they can't afford to do. Look at the damage on Jim Bones there. Just one simple Q shot from Genja.
And he's sitting at 3-0-1 at this point. The Infinity Edge, the Finance are done. He's sitting on another 2,000 gold. So when he backs, he's going to have most likely that Lust Whisper coming up. Actually, well, there's not even a lot of armor on the other team, but still, they have a lot of tankiness. I still say he should be going for that item next. We do have Dragon coming up in about 2 minutes, but Giants, like you were saying, they're getting caught. And it seems like for no reason, for a little bit of farm on the bot lane, when he could just group up, push down potentially some of these inner turrets.
Well, as it is, we do see Gambit backing off, and let's see what Giants now, after having a period of being defensive with the Baron, what they do. It was almost a Baron of opportunity that was picked up, and finally they are going to be able to group up and do something. But honestly, I don't see any advantages they can gain.
It's all about getting... I mean, they can force a fight, but it's really...
But look at the situation. I mean, Gambit, with that Oracle, have just swept the entire map and cleared it out. There's not a single aggressive ward out for Giants so far.
I mean, yeah, it's very true, but we still have 2, or I think it's 3 Baron buffs still left on the Giants side. If they can get Morden in there, maybe they pick up a Shrelia's, given that extra speed with the Sona E as well. If he can get one pulled out, they're going to kill him instantly. You're going to have Samix in the backside of the fight. It has to be very careful because we saw Wicked fall into the same kind of thing where if you go into the back of the fight and they have an Oracle there, you're going to die. So you have to play very cautious. You have to know that beforehand. But it's all about Morden. He is the initiate for their team. Lex Exter picks up Azonia's to, was it Messiah who ults in the backside, pops at Zonia's, and then baits the team into fighting him. But still, Gambit getting just that much more tanky. The damage items coming out. We even have a Blade of the Rune King done for Genja, which is such a strong item and really is kind of underused, but you've seen a lot more play lately as you see Diamond playing with that Lantern.
Well, they are playing with the Lantern. The Dragon will be up in 20 seconds. Diamond Proc still with that Oracle. Troopsing down the bottom there. Red buff going to be given across to Genja. And Giants are in position for this one. Babetta has just gone back up. Blue buff is going to get given across to Extermin with that Lich Bane and the Rabadon's Death Cap, as well as that Twin Shadows he had earlier on. So, Gambit and Giants, who wants this fight at Dragon? Because it looks like both teams are looking to it. Well,
it looks like Gambit has the real timing on it as they're going for it without even being contested. And just looking at right now, I mean, because Demon, we're at the point where if you lose a team fight here, you're most likely going to lose the game because of how late it is, how long the respawn timers are, and how much advantage the other team gets. And one thing that's really also interesting is that Alex, he's not going for a auto attack kind of build. He's going for more of a bursty build, which we saw Shushe do at their European qualifiers.
Well, we're going to see Samax show himself in that top lane, clear it out. Gambit as a full team stacking through that mid lane. I was a little worried for Extermin there because I thought he may well show himself in that bottom, but he is being so cautious as well on Twisted Fate. Despite the fact he's got that ulti to get away, he's obviously aware of the fact that he could get caught out. So Baron has worn off now for Giants, and it's looking to me like Gambit are the stronger of the two teams.
Yeah, and the thing is that Giants, with the Twist of Fate, like I mentioned in the bot side, they can split push all day they want to, but the problem is Giants doesn't have a strong team to fend off initiate out of Gambit. Yeah, you have the Crescendo, but that's honestly about it. Yeah, and that's doing what Twist of Fate really should do. And it's really creating opportunities for him as Genja is coming down towards the bottom side. Uses ultimate for vision.
Put a lot of damage down. Uses his ultimate for the vision, like you say. And he has managed to get a lot of damage down. There's the ultimate used to just make that gap between the two. And he's going to back off and buy himself some more items. So, turret-wise, it's 5-3 currently for Gambit. They have that lead. They've built up around about a 2,000 gold advantage. It was dead even split at the 28-minute mark. But in that 5 minutes, they've managed to claw out 2k in gold. Of course, those turrets going down, facing up against Giants with the Baron. The question is, will they keep being aggressive? Will they catch someone out? Oh, it's Jim Bones getting on towards Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox taking down half hit points, a third hit points. Samax is going to dive in. He tries to turn him burn. Can he get in towards Darian? Samax taking... Oh, no! The True Shot barrage flashes past from Genja there. Picks up a double kill. Morton going to go down. It's going to be another. And that's Alex Itch who picks it up. Jim Bones tries to get away, but he's going to get dropped as well. That's a double kill for Alex Itch. And just like that, it's a 4-for-0.
And that's what we're talking about, that big moment. If you lose that fight, fight. Giants got baited in, unfortunately, right there. We saw Samix getting a little too cocky, trying to go in for Diamond to close up that kill, but he had an Oracle on him. We even see one on Edward at this point, and Gambit going to be able to pick up this turret from that, and just overall so well played by them. Diamond, he escaped by the skin of his teeth right there. But that's what he does best, or if we're going to be honest.
Well, that's why you have Alex Ich with intervention on the team. That is why Kale is rated so highly, because that skill will save you. Just as a team commits too heavily, they manage to get caught out and are straight away done. Crescendo used there. Is it going to be enough to save the Nexus turret? No, it is not. That's one down. Genji wants to take the second, but he's not going to happen. He's going to have to back away. But that was a great pickup for Gambit.
And Baron now available. We have, was it all 5 members heading over towards that to take this, and with a Twist Fate ulti, it's going to show their hand, show exactly what they're going for. But it doesn't really matter at this point. Gambit, they have a lot of gold, if we can show you that on your screen. 2,800 gold right now on Alex H. We have 2,300 onto Genja, and even 1,200 on Edward. It's just, there's not really... I mean, they just have the freedom to pretty much bait them in, since they have that middle inhibitor down now, and then buy these big items when they finally do decide to go back.
Well, they did manage to disrupt the Baron. They've managed to keep them at bay. And Giants still... They are a strong force.
They need to back out.
If they manage to get into a 5v5 fight, the question is, can they get into one? Yeah, and immediately they use that speed of Babetta to get the hell out of
It's like a Crescendo being down. I mean, it was a smart play by him to use it on to make sure that at least one Nexus turret stays alive. But without that available, there's no hope for them to win these fights. So they have to make sure they go in with everything up as possible, or everything up. We do have actually Edward going for a Twin Shadows. A little interesting pickup on his part, just to keep them a little bit extra slowed so they can chase them down that much better, especially with the Wither on top of that, not to mention the slow on Alex Each and the stun out of Darien. It's be really hard for anyone Giants to really disengage here. And Samix, he's being shut down in these fights because of these oracles we're seeing Gambit pick up.
Well, he's not really been able to get into the fights, and they're just so tanky right now, Gambit. Obviously, Diamond and Darien in that front line, you're not going to generally get past it because he uses that Wither, manages to slow him down. More than they're trying to find them, but they can't manage to pick them out. Gambit are not being caught out. Normally, and I've said this many, many times in the past, oh, Darien, what are you doing out of position? But he is not falling for that this time. He's got his buddy, Diamond, backing him up.
And even Alex with the intervention every once in a while just to keep him alive. But with that Oracle, they are going to keep the division out of our Giants' side here. They do have the ultimate on Twist Fate coming up fairly shortly. They know it is being done, but can they really do anything about it, Demon? That is the question.
Well, Genja nearly got himself out of position, but he has, of course, got that Baron. There goes the Twin Shadows being used out by Extermin, but Twin Shadows, as you mentioned, by Edward, could slow things down with that Wither as well on towards Morden.
There it is.
Samux is desperately trying to come out. There's the Twin Shadows. He's going to catch on towards Morden. The slow will come down. Oh, the hook not quite landing, and they should be able to escape just in time. The stun card comes out. A lot of damage actually going on towards Diamond Prox there, but again, oh, they're going to try and turn this one. Giants want the fight now. They realize it. They did take half the hit points down off Diamond. Is it going to be enough? Ace in the Hole's going to come out. That lands on towards Darien. And now, this is actually a pretty even fight.
Yeah, Jim Bones, the damage he's doing right now with his 3 currently built items, that Last Whisper pretty much paying dividends. Even though Diamond doesn't have any armor, just say he's playing more of a support type jungler with the Wither and even the damage off his Q, which he's just letting build up naturally. But he is really their saving factor since Samix can't get into the back line. Like, even if he does get into the back line, who's he going to kill? You could potentially pick up Genja, yes, but you have the intervention, you have Edward to protect him, and you also have a Banshee's Veil built on Genja, just for the hell of it, to stop that Crescendo, and not to mention the flippity-floppy out of Morden.
Oh, I tell you what, they're going to go for Baron here, and Babetta is long gone, and this could well be a Baron. Easy pickup for Gambit. This is going to have to be a steal here from Giants because there's nothing else they can do to try and stop this one. Oh, the hook on Jim Bones! Jim Bones is going to get taken down, and surely that would be the game. I don't think there's a lot they can do about this one. Baron now picked up for Gambit. They're going to turn and run. Edwards coming in, maybe thinking of getting a hook on towards Morden. Instead, he turns back towards Samix. They spot him. He backs away just in time.
And look how tanky that Edward's gotten throughout this entire game with his 113 souls built up. He has 178 armor and 2,800 health. Like, that's a support. That's not a support anymore. That's your tank.
And this is why we were talking about. This is why Jat was getting so damn excited, because we expected this to be played. This is what we expected. The new support king could well be Thresh, but nobody else played it. Nobody really worked with it, but Edward is making it work.
And that's what you have to do in Season 3. You have to be able to adapt with new champions, new changes, everything. We do have a Void Set picked up for Extra, but it might seem a little bit too late. They're going to get the second inhibitor here, and Giants, they're not able to engage against this Baron up team, not to mention the shields they currently have with that Lantern, with the lock of the Iron Solari.
And there is more, and there's not a lot they can do about this one. They're going to push on towards that final Nexus turret. The damage is surely not going to be enough for Giants. They're going to try and drive it through. Samux has been hooked in. There's not a lot they can do about that one. Crescendo goes out. They're trying to keep them at bay. True Shot Barrage back across Jim Bones. Jim Bones getting picked down by Genja there. He has to run towards the fountain. The Nexus turret goes down, and the Nexus will follow as Gambit Gaming should close out the final victory, forcing them all onto the fountain. But that is the game.